Hello, every pony. LX here, and I know what you're thinking. Not another Skyrim mod show. Yes, I know. There's like 5 others, not to mention all the Let's Plays. But this is a little different. First off, this isn't a weekly mod review. I've compiled my mod list, and rather than keep adding mods, this is more of a comparison between the vanilla game and my personal top permanent mod choices. The things that will be used for the full playthrough, mod selection, description, and explanation will compose the first few episodes, with more detailed showcases of the individual parts over the first few episodes, or segments, if you will. Once the basics are covered, we'll move on to the Let's Play segment. But this isn't a normal Let's Play either. In addition to the game's voice acting, I'll be providing the voice for my main character, but no commentary. Think of it more like Skyrim, the TV show, or movie. But this isn't a hands-off procedure. When a choice comes up in the game, that will be the cliffhanger of the episode. Do we go with the Imperial Soldier in Helgen, or the Stormcloak? Do we help the Bard, or the Archer get the girl in Riverwood? And lastly, as a coder myself, the third leg of the show will explore the creation of mods through the creation kit, the creation of content. Some of this content will be easy, others will be much more difficult. You will learn the process alongside your host, and hopefully it'll make you a better coder yourself. So without further ado, let's get on to the first episode, The Basics. Alrighty, let's get this party started. On the right you'll see what I like to call Vanilla Plus. It is the base game with just a few mods that, due to their nature, can't really be turned off. On the left we have Chocolate, or basically the texture and visual mods that just elevate the game to a more visually pleasing level. No vanity mods here. It's Skyrim, only better. It's Chocolate instead of Vanilla. Links to the mods will be found in the credits of this video. Since there are a lot of them, you'll have a good 3 minutes to read them at the end of the video. Now, for the technical side. I have a laptop, it's a Dell XPS 15S, with a Core i5, running 8 GB of RAM, with an NVIDIA GT 540M. And before any modding, the launcher lets me run it at high quality. The videos in this are run at low, the base of baselines. With the Chocolate side run at medium, but a ton of graphic mods. It should also be mentioned, even Chocolate on low is beautiful on my normal game, with the only slowdown happening due to the Sound of Skyrim mod, which is known to be buggy, and is actually listed in boss as such. And incidentally, while I had that, I also was facing a full-out vampire invasion and a dragon invasion of Windhelm. I had to turn it down to low to survive that, but normally I run on a high or even ultra. So needless to say, these mods aren't terribly taxing on your system, even if they are high quality texture mods. Now, starting vanilla side, we have Sky UI, with the Celtic icons by the Sky UI team and Greg Fournette, who did the icons. This UI overhaul just makes the interface that much more pleasing as a PC user. It's more keyboard and mouse friendly, and just easier to navigate. The optional Celtic Icon Pack is one of the few mods you need to install manually. I use the borderless version personally, and it just changes up the inventory icons to be a bit more lore-esque. Next up we have iHUD by Gopher. This, like many of the quality mods, require the Skyrim Script Extender, or SKSE. And it's the perfect complement to Sky UI, as it hides most of the HUD elements unless you are actively using them, which makes first person a bit more immersive, as you don't have a health meter to stare at all the time, only when, you're hurt and taking actual damage. iHUD also requires SKSE. Next, we have the FXAA Post-Process Injector, by Rhett Spades, which again is the kind of mod that's kind of hard to disable once you install it. Then we have the high resolution texture packs, which no, not the high resolution texture packs. That's in the chocolate version. What we have in vanilla is the high-resolution road signs by Spartan6. This mod makes all the road signs more readable, but seems to be a permanent choice because I could not find how to activate it using Rybash, which is my mod manager of choice, until TS Gecko comes out letting me bypass the 255 mod limit, most of which are tweaks and graphical overhauls. And use the Nexus mod manager, or who knows if they'll actually create a Skyrim mod manager. Anyway, moving on. Of course, it goes without saying, I have both the DLCs, Dawnguard and Hearthfires, by Bethsoft. But hey, Steam had a sale. Moving on, we have three very simple and basic mods, the Skyrim, Dawnguard, and Hearthfire's unofficial patches. By, well, the Oblivion, and I guess now Skyrim unofficial mod team. These patches require SKSE, and fix a number of bugs Bethsoft either overlooked or were just too lazy to care about. Next on this list is the only vanity mod in the vanilla, and it's a big group of dependencies. Kiss, or the Khajiit, Cat Sprint, and Sneak by 0R080R0 let your character sprint or sneak, like the big predator he or she is, but this requires 3 to 4 other mods. One is For's New Idols, FNIS, by Force, which lets you, create new idols, and an add-on that also has an add-on that also lets you add new magic animations. Then you need the PC exclusive animation patch by Wraithloz, which separates players and NPCs into 2 folders. Again, a very level mod that's kind of hard to turn off. This mod has 2 sisters, my bronies out there, they also like, which separates armor for NPCs and players, and voices, so you could have one replacer for iron armor you use and one for the NPCs, so your and then of course the voice one does the same thing for voices. So your Norn can have a different voice than Lydia, because by default they all use the same voice sounds, and of course armors will use the same one. So it gives you a little bit more variety, allows you to personalize your character a little bit more. And then the third part of these dependencies is race compatibility by TM Phoenix, which again is needed for custom play races. Now, here's where we go a little bit of a tangent depending on what works best for you. If, after all this, you still want to stick with the vanilla races, you just want to have, the Khajiit have a cat run and sprint, or have, their own unique armors and whatnot, they're just enhanced, fine, that's fine, but to do that, you need one more mod, and that's called Custom Races by Derail1602. Otherwise, if you're using a custom race such as Dajirat or Draken, you don't need custom races. That said, one of the mods we will be covering in the creation series will be a quest to let you change race in-game instead of once at CareGen or via the console. We'll go over that later, though, when the time is right. And lastly, as the next stream might give things away, these are Khajiit player fixes. The first one is Sense of Smell by Edge3K, which gives Khajiit a power similar to werewolves. Red or blue aura to determine if an enemy is hostile or not, which makes a lot more sense on a Khajiit than a freaking rampaging werewolf in the middle of town. And then we have the claw animation. Now, I must apologize, I got all of my mods over the last few days, but when I went back to find links for Steam Workshop and Skyrim Nexus for this show, I could not find this mod again. This mod changes the default unarmed animation for any player to the Khajiit claw swipe. If you can find it again, let me know in the comments. Now, our last of the vanilla mods is a damage fix to the Khajiit claws. The game says they do 15, they actually do 12. This mod makes them do 15, and is by Yutu. Wow, that sounds like a lot for the vanilla game, but really you won't notice it, not compared to the chocolate and full-service Neapolitan that we will feature in a later episode. And now for some chocolate. Chocolate. What were they talking about again? Alright, chocolate. I prefer Mr. Goodbar. I used to swear by Butterfingers, but I don't know, Goodbar has just become my favorite, while Butterfingers have lost their luster. And then there's oh, wait, what? Sorry. We're talking about the other chocolate. Skyrim chocolate. Well, let's get started then. Apache Sky Hair by, well, Apache is a mod that adds a lot more hair variety, some of which are really nice choices for a player to really make their character their own, though it's more optional vanity than the visual mods, which we'll be covering as the main focus of chocolate. Now, let's start easy with the high-res texture pack by Bethsoft, the free official texture DLC. It's a great starting point before looking to third parties. And did I mention it's free? Oh, and it's free. I should mention that. Now, Crash and Burn has made this nice fix to the chopping block and a dragon statue at the end of the game that fixes missing textures, and it's a good place to start off with your third-party mods. Then we move on to Better Females by Meat Zero to improve those female NPC skins and meshes. I used a less makeup preset myself. Yeah, because there wasn't too much makeup back in, the dark ages, but, that's just me. And then we move on to Static Mesh Improvements. It's another fix to fix minor bugs, and it's done by Brumbeck. Flipped Muffins Mix. Muffins. Shush. Up, Derby. Gives us realistic lighting E and B, which gives us the more natural lighting in chocolate over the vanilla. While Rainbows, not another pony joke, I swear, by Izoku adds, well, rainbows after a storm. A small but nice little quality of life fix. Then we have Birds by Kazumi, and More Village Animals by Michelangelo, not the turtle. Or the painter, I'm pretty sure. Which adds more life to Skyrim, which has more of a subtler effect, but it does make Skyrim a little bit more lifelike, a little more vibrant. Then we have Deeper Snow by Zeppo, Enhanced Distant Terrain by Deadman Playing. Now you're going to hear Deadman Playing a lot, because he makes a lot of these little quality of life HD mods. So we also have HD Plants and Herbs by Dartanus, not the Three Musketeer. HQ Snow, High Quality Snow. Textures by Hugeness. Lush Trees by Deadman Playing. Vibrant Auroras by Deadman Playing. Alternate Sun Glare by Izuku and Deadman Playing. Enhanced Blood HD by... Wait a second. That's not Deadman Playing. By Baka Kimono. And you saw that in action during the beheading scene just a few minutes ago. So it's actually quite diverse, if you could say. Then we have More Grass by Mad Monkey 119 and Lush Grass by Deadman Playing. And all add up to a nice visual flair and quality of life, especially when you combine them, which is why I kind of sped them all off in one go, because combined they kind of make the game. And then we have Lanterns of Skyrim by Manny GT. With our nights so dark due to realistic lighting, we need some lanterns to spread throughout the towns, the bridges, the world to etch muddy light. This is the mod for you. It adds, well, lanterns everywhere, and it's quite immersive. Then we have Water and Terrain Enhanced Redux, or just Water, or WATER, however you prefer it, which makes the water flow so much more naturally and beautifully, and combined with Get Wet, you actually look like you just got out of the water. Unfortunately, I can't find the link for Get Wet. Another one of those links that vanished in the last couple of days. Now we move on to the mods missing in action. Starting with Enhanced Lighting for Indoors for realistic lighting, which gives some more light to the darker world of realistic lighting. And two quality of life mods. The first is Scaled Unarmed Damage, which, as the name implies, helps your unarmed fighters have be more competitive by scaling their damage as they grow up in level. Quality of life fix, definitely. But when you're playing as a Khajiit and you've got the damage fixer, being able to actually go through the entire game barehanded, except for when you need to go ranged, which is what I personally do, it's a big thing. I mean, honestly, when you'll see it when I'm playing the game, I never pick up a weapon, maybe for one or two strikes, and then it's back to the bare fists. And the only time I switch to a real weapon is when I'm going for range. So, that's a big thing for those of us who like to brawl. And then we have a quality of life fix, the Jarl Ulrich female uniform, which basically lets your female character wear the Jarl's outfit, which is kind of odd oversight by Bethsoft by not actually having it be something that they can do on their own. And that's it for our chocolate version, Every Pony. Hope you enjoyed yourself, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. And now, Every Pony, as you may have noticed, that ends my commentary on Chocolate and Vanilla, and we still have another 14 minutes left to go. Now, originally I was just going to leave you with just the visuals to watch and get your ideas of the comparison of Vanilla and Chocolate, but I figured you'd probably want some sound, some audio. So, what I'm basically going to do for at least another segment here of this show is basically go over some basics of what you can expect in future installments. For example, in the episode coming up after this, what you're most likely going to see is my actual Neapolitan version of the game, which currently is a little bit weird. I had no dragon mods in it, but when I activated it, the first thing that happened after I loaded my quick save, I look up from the sky of Riverwood, and what do I see? It's a dragon invasion, even though there's no dragon mods, no dragon, encounters happening. And and I actually had to turn on God mode to take them out because there was about 7 of them, and I'm level 1, and I'm fighting 7 dragons and about 3 draugers, After I took care of all those guys, I was about level 6, and actually to survive it, I had activated some other mods through the console, and some powers that I'll talk about later on. And I thought, okay, well, I'm now level 6. I've got some equipment set up. I might as well continue with the mission and just use this as a test file. And so what I did was, I headed off to the next nearest town to talk with the Jarl of Wilhelm. And what do I find as I leave the town and make my way across the country? But there's another dragon invasion. So by the time I get to the town, and I haven't even gotten inside the gate yet as of this point, there is another dragon invasion, about 10 dragons, all circling about, so I have to go God mode again. I switched between God mode and using my newly acquired console-added powers, to fight them, which again, I'll detail in a later episode. because again, I'm level 6 and I'm fighting about 12 dragons, and I still haven't even done the official dragon mission where you're actually given a shout and all that fun stuff. So, needless to say, it was a little intense and insane. So, I'm probably going to be looking into what mod particularly activated the dragon instance, because it's a little insane to be level 1 or level 6 and fighting literally constant full-scale invasions. Let's not even think about what's going to happen when I hit level 9 and Dawnguard activates and start spawning the vampires. So, you'll see that in the next episode. I'm right now just tinkering around with it, but I'll edit it together and give you a nice little fun show of essentially fighting dozens and dozens of dragons. With, I think I have about 15 dragon skeleton bones at this point. But there are some really interesting mods that I will showcase in the Neapolitan version. And once we've covered Neapolitan, we'll start working on the actual playthrough. That will be in episode 3, which, of course, as I've told you earlier on, will be partially controlled by you. We'll start off with the intro, and here is where you can throw your votes in right now in episode 1 in the comments. Who would you like me to go with? The Imperial Agent or the Stormguard agent? Since you have to pick one right there at the bat, and it determines your first starting quest. Will you be doing, Unbound and Before the Storm? Will you be joining the Imperial Legion? Or will you be, joining with the Stormcloaks? So, let me know in the comments which one you would like to see, and that will be the first mission objective. Now, as long as we're here, we might as well also cover the same object. This first town is Riverwood. Right here is 2 chances to acquire a companion. One is the Elf Archer, the other is the Bard. Which would you like to see me acquire, the Bard or the Archer? And then we have, once you finally make it to Windhelm, assuming I'm not being beset by dragon upon dragon, there's other mods there. Now, I know some of you out there may be bronies, and that's fine, that's cool, I love bronies. But I will mention this, I do have in my pipeline a pony mod. It's not quite like any of the ones you've seen, and it's going to be interesting when we get to the creation segment, how it's going to be taken care of, because again, the third part of this entire show will be, we've got the mod review, we've got the Let's Play movie, and then we've got content creation. Well, in content creation, one of the contents I am going to be creating is what I like to call the Land of Equestria, working title. And the basic idea is there is a giant bubble protecting this town. No one's gotten into it. And this is going to be a fun project to work on because I'm going to have to tinker with lockpicking, and recreate it as arcane lockpicking. Basically the idea of using spells to unlock a barrier. And I'm thinking, based upon, the mission where you get like the Sapphire Claw or the Golden Claw, it's the idea of matching 3 rings of runes and getting the portal open. If you get it to open, it'll just be populated in the current build with just recolored basic Skyrim horses with, pony names. But hopefully I'll be able to create custom meshes in the future. But that's, one big mod. A smaller mod will be the ability to actually do the opening intro and drag both people along and get both quests. So, I have a lot of ideas, a lot of stuff to tinker around with, and we're all going to see how easy or how hard it's going to be when we get to the content creation stuff, which I haven't pegged down an episode number for that yet. There's no real telling when that'll be, because we've got to focus first on we've got to do the Neapolitan review in episode 3. We've got to start the Let's Play, which will probably be episode 4, since we'll have already covered all the mods. Maybe we'll take the mods again into a 4th episode, depending on runtime and other elements such as that. So you're looking at, the Let's Play at least being, episode 4 or 5, and we'll probably want to do that for a couple, get us at least to, High Hrothgar, where the first real custom quest I have on my quest inventory comes in. It's just really kind of interesting to see in action. So, that might take 2 or 3 episodes to do that. Because again, we're playing through the game with no commentary, but added voice work for the protagonist. And Then we'll probably move into the content creation. Now, I might simply mix it up. I might just do content. I might jump into content creation and swap it around and put it in as episode 3. I can always reorganize my YouTube channel into sections. But this is all just a preliminary idea for you guys to work with. And if you have any thoughts or ideas on what you would like to see and how you'd like to see this thing go through, put it in the comments, because I am more than willing to listen. So, every pony out there, let's get to Skyrim and let's have some fun. And I hope to see you all in-game, one way or another. Peace. Peace.